It's finally the time to kick off the grandest stage of them all. It's finally the time for main event Jey Uso to prove to the world that is he really the main event worthy superstar. We will find that out in the first match of WrestleMania 41. The opening of the show is the World Heavyweight Championship as the Yeet Man takes on the World Heavyweight Champion Gunther. They both start very hot by trading punches at one another. The brutal battle starts. This is pure anger. Both men have their own reasons to win the match, especially Jey Uso, as he has his family involved in this one. But Gunther believes that if he loses to Jey Uso, he is not going to be on the level he was before. So he does whatever it takes, chops, slams, suplexes, cheap shots, whatever it takes. He wants to continue the punishment on Jey Uso by any means necessary. And after that brutal start, when Jey got a few punches on Gunther, he cannot do a single thing, and Gunther is demolishing the Yeet Man with slams, kicks, and of course, technical submissions. But Jey, finally after countering a submission, manages to take Gunther out and send him out of the ring. He joins him there too for a diving forearm to the ringside. Jey is maybe able to gain some momentum and prevent Gunther from continuing this punishment as he nails him with a crossbody, but only for a near fall, as the ring general kicks out and is not going to lose his World Heavyweight Championship this easy. But Jey Uso is starting to use his classic moves, his signature running hip attack, a shout out to the Usos. And of course we know that this has a message for Jimmy as well, as Jey is competing in this match for his family, especially Jimmy. After a couple of brutal punches, Gunther rolls out of the ring because he's busted open and is trying to recover. But Jey Uso is not going to leave him alone. As Gunther tries to get back to his feet, Jey launches himself through the ropes for a suicide dive. He smashes his head onto the announce table and nails numerous super kicks, and Jey is driving insane. He clears the announce table and smashes Gunther's head once again, as he wants to put the World Heavyweight Champion through it. Well, we can say at least he tries to, because he is not successful, as Gunther counters Jey's attacks when he wants to deliver a suplex from up there high and sends him down face first. And from up there, Gunther delivers a beautiful splash, and this is now the time that we can say maybe Jey is out. A nasty powerbomb on the announce table and is sent back in the ring as the ring general delivers one more splash from the top rope and goes for the cover. But it's a near fall as Jey Uso survives of this, so Gunther continues the punishment with beautiful maneuvers from the top rope as well, and he finishes it off with a massive lariat, and he goes for the cover again. But Jey has some gas left in the tank. He kicks out, but Gunther is not letting him recover as he delivers another powerbomb. And we can understand everything from the look on Gunther's face. But also the ring general breaks silence as he says, "You wanted all this, Jey. I warned you, but you wanted all of these." Jey tries to recover, but again a massive chop keeps him down as Gunther drags him in the middle of the ring because he has some good plans for the main event man. A Boston Crab is locked in. Much pressure on the lower back of the Yeet Man is applied, and he has nowhere to go. Will he tap out? Will he give up the World Heavyweight Championship? Or it's better to say, will he give up everything? No, at least not for now. He goes off the ropes and nails Gunther with a massive spear. This is his chance. Jey falls for the cover. No, it's not enough to keep Gunther down for 3 counts. But Jey wastes no more time as he realizes he doesn't have much time. He delivers a beautiful super kick right under Gunther's jaw and is calling for him once again. He lines him up for a flying super kick right to his face. Another pin attempt. But not again. Gunther survives again. He gets the shoulder up And he crawls to the ropes and tries to get back to his feet, but Jay is not letting him do that as he sends him out and dives over the ropes to take Gunther down again. He sends him back in the ring, and one more time from up there high. He wants a splash, but Gunther escapes, so Jay comes down and goes after him once again with a kick in the corner this time. On the top rope, Jay goes. He has a chance to finish this damn thing. Uso splash, nailed it. No, at 2.9, Gunther gets the shoulder up. He goes for a spear, but this time, Gunther catches him in the crossface. Many attacks, kicks, super kicks, splashes, but Gunther finally recovered for the submission. But as quick as that, Jay breaks through and nails Gunther with a couple of right hands. A splash sends him to the ropes, looking for another running attack, but this time Gunther catches him in the sleeper hold. The submission that crushed the dream of becoming world champion at Saturday night's main event, and the same move that didn't let Jay beat Gunther. But Gunther is not done yet as he delivers another powerbomb to Jay Uso and he stacks him up. Jay didn't kick out, but Gunther changed his mind. He wants to continue this punishment and he delivers a couple of boots in disrespect. But that adrenaline forces Jay to fight back as a big right hand is nailed and he wants a Samoan drop. But the exhaustion is the reason he cannot continue. His back gives out and boom! Another massive lariat which turns Jay inside out. Again, Gunther is not willing to end this match, even though it could be the end of this match. At 2.9, he changes his mind and locks Jay in another sleeper hold. Jay seems to be fading as Gunther is punishing him, but somehow, someway, he fights back. He finds his way out of that submission, wants a super kick, but no, Gunther catches him, wants a chop, but Jay, with an on-time dodge, throws Gunther up with a back suplex and catches him with a neck breaker. He's calling for him again. Gunther is lined up as Jay is hitting another spear right to the midsection of the ring general. Gunther is down and Jay is realizing his chance from the top. Another Uso splash is nailed. Not again! How on earth is Gunther surviving of this? So Jay goes for another spear, but Gunther dodges this time. And Jay hits the referee instead. Charles Robinson is hit with a spear, and the match has no referee for now. Jay is looking down in disbelief, but this is the time Gunther needs to go out and return with the World Heavyweight title belt as he smashes Jay's face with that and clears the crime scene as he throws the belt out. And now Jay is the one who's busted open. Jay is the one who's drawn with blood. And Gunther loves every single moment of this. Punches after punches, turnbuckle smashes, and Gunther sends Jay into the opposite corner and runs at them with a massive big boot. Gunther is manhandling the so-called Yeet Man because we can't see any sign of Yeet in him right now. And the only thing we see is him praying for forgiveness. The ring is drawn with blood and Gunther wants to take advantage of this referee's absence. He removes the turnbuckle pad and he wants to smash Jay's head into it. But Jay, with an on-time counter, frees himself and delivers a super kick. And he's getting his revenge. Rapid smashes into the turnbuckle. Gunther is being punished by being smashed into the exposed turnbuckle. And Jay punches him in the face. And he's getting his revenge. He's drawn with his own blood and he's also wiping Gunther's blood all around his body. Jey Uso is getting his revenge. A massive super kick right to his bloody face. One more time. And Jay delivers another spear. This is his chance. He capitalizes. He finally yeets. And he goes to the top rope. He not only climbs the ropes, but he also climbs to achieve the glory. Jay did it! Jay finally captured the World Heavyweight Championship. He finally defeated Gunther after an 0-3 record. It doesn't matter that how many times he had lost to Gunther before. This one really matters because he finally won the World Heavyweight Championship at the grandest stage of them all. But speaking of winning championships, the next match is a championship match as well. We have the Samoan Werewolf, Jacob Fatu, who's challenging the United States champion LA Knight for the United States Championship. Can he win his first singles title in WWE? The match starts. The Samoan Werewolf and the Megastar. This is expected to be a technical match as both of Superstar are great athletes. And the match starts with a couple of grapples. But as Jacob gets the chance, he starts off very hot. He throws LA Knight in midair and starts the punishment. He does that one more time, and this is when the match starts to get wild, because LA Knight, with his in-ring abilities, tries to fight back against the powerhouse of the Bloodline, and he's somehow successful to do that, but only for a couple of punches, for a couple of kicks. Because as the match continues and LA Knight climbs the ropes and goes to the top, he's lining Jacob Fatu up for a diving attack from the top rope. And this is when Jacob Fatu is denying the attack and starts to demolish LA Knight. A Falcon Arrow for the start, and as LA Knight goes to the ringside for a recovery, Jacob doesn't want to leave him alone, as he launches himself over the top rope for a massive dive attack to the ringside, showing no mercy to the United States champion. As they return to the ring, Jacob Fatu nails LA Knight with a massive splash and goes for the cover. But only for a near fall, as LA Knight doesn't want to give up this soon. He continues fighting back, and he shows off his athleticism as well. He wants to prove that he is a deserved two-time United States champion, and even competing like that against Jacob Fatu is enough to prove that, let alone beating him. LA Knight uses his pure power to power slam Jacob Fatu in a unique way, and he goes for the signature elbow drop. The crowd is completely behind the Megastar as the elbow is hit, but not only that, but also the special double jump elbow drop from the top rope is hit as well. But Jacob Fatu kicks out at one. What the hell is going on? Jacob Fatu just kept up from that and is taunting LA Knight. Knight though wants to fight back, but Jacob is too smart as he dodges and nails him with a massive pop-up Samoan drop. And from the top, looking for a dive. But this is when LA Knight recovers and jumps to the top rope for a beautiful superplex from up there high. Knight has the chance, and he immediately follows it up for a BFT. Jacob kicks out. Unbelievably, he survives of this. He is the first ever superstar to kick out of the BFT. But LA Knight doesn't care about these things. He calls for him for another one, but this time Jacob denies and wants the super kick, but Knight catches him and instead he hits him with a massive DDT, planting him on the top of his head. He climbs the ropes once again from up there, looking for a maneuver, but Jacob counters this time, and now he is the one who's joining his opponents up there on the top rope. But for a crazy maneuver, a superplex directly to the ringside. What the hell is going on? What the hell is Jacob Fatu made of? He sends LA Knight back in the ring. He calls for him to stand up on his feet, and this is the chance for Jacob Fatu as he hits him with the Impaler DDT and follows it up with the mighty moonsault and hooks his leg. Jacob Fatu did it. One of the biggest wins in his career, as he still remains undefeated in WWE, and he also won his first singles title at the grandest stage of them all. Congrats, the new US champion. But the next match is not about championships. The next match is about to end a long-time rivalry between two women that were friends but are now competing in the first ever one-on-one women's match at WrestleMania that is not for a championship. Naomi arrives, as well as Jade Cargill, and they start punching at each other at the start of the match. WrestleMania is hosting this pure battle between these two athletic women, as Naomi gets the upper hand at the start of the match and nails Jade Cargill with a rear view. This may be the chance for Naomi to end this match this soon, but no. Jade Cargill kicks out. She's not going to lose this easy, but Naomi is not going to take it easy on Jade Cargill, as she shows off her athleticism with different springboard attacks and special maneuvers of her own to prove that she definitely has something to say against Jade Cargill. But after a few attacks, Jade keeps up, and she's now talking trash to Naomi. She is fired up, and she runs at Naomi with a massive spear. She's now showing off her power as well, as Cargill deadlifts Naomi up in the military press position to drop her down. The battle continues. The pure brawl continues between Naomi and Jade Cargill, as both women are trying to beat the living hell out of one another, especially Jade Cargill, who she had months of her career taken by Naomi, so she has more aggression against her opponent. But at some point, Naomi delivers a blockbuster from the top rope and is taunting the crowd, and she's now having the chance to end this match once and for all. A springboard dropkick right to the face of Jade Cargill, and Naomi sets her in position for her famous rope-assisted leg trap DDT, followed by a split-legged moonsault. But before the third count, Jade Cargill gets her shoulder up, so Naomi is calling for Cargill to get back to her feet, as she wants the full Nelson slam from behind. But Cargill counters this time, and she is now hitting her finisher. She picks up Naomi from behind. Jade walks around the ring with Naomi for a jaded. But as this match was a pure brawl, she is exhausted, so she cannot go for the cover, and Naomi takes advantage of this as well. She rolls out of the ring, but when Cargill recovers, she joins her at the ringside. But this is when Naomi recovers and boom, slams her into the ring post, uses the environment to get the upper hand against Jade Cargill, and sends her back in the ring. And in a beautiful show off of athleticism, a springboard roll through into the Feel the Glow submission. Cargill is really now feeling the glow, or maybe feeling the darkness of Naomi. But somehow, some way, Cargill manages to find a way out of the submission and runs at Naomi with a massive bump kick. Cargill now has Naomi in position for another jaded. She picks her up and boom, face first, and the classic style cover for a 1, 2, 3. Jade Cargill captures the first victory at the grandest stage of them all. This sets the stage much bigger for Cargill for future achievements and of course championships. And for now, she successfully overcame the Naomi problem. But speaking of problems, this man has become a problem for the LWO. El Grande Americano is going to face the legendary luchador, WWE Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio. A match full of lucha moves and high-flying abilities, as Rey Mysterio is proving to everyone that age is just a number. We're witnessing another brilliant match from Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania, but also on the other side, El Grande is showing everyone that he's one of the best luchadors to ever come out of Mexico, with his beautiful high-flying maneuvers onto Rey Mysterio, but only for near falls, as both men are surviving off each other's attacks. Rey Mysterio brings back the classic Dragon Rana, and at some point, when he lifts him up for a maneuver, El Grande counters and comes down from up there, and he has now Rey Mysterio in position to pick him up for a familiar maneuver. A cliffhanger DDT by El Grande for a 1, 2, but no, again Rey Mysterio survives. And at some point, Rey Mysterio is doing his famous comeback as he's getting the upper hand against El Grande, and the newest member of the American Maid cannot do a single thing about it. So that's why the Creed brothers decide to come out and help him. But on the other side, we have the LWO backing Rey Mysterio up as Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde are coming after the Creed brothers. An epic battle is taking place in front of the stage as Dragon Lee joins them too, and they take out Brutus and Julius. But then we see Rey Mysterio distracted to the brawl in front of the stage, so El Grande takes advantage and takes Rey down from behind. Then we see Ivy Nile arriving, trying to pass a piece of metal to El Grande once again. But as she puts the metal in the ring, she gets stopped by Zelina Vega. An LWO reunion takes place at WrestleMania as Zelina comes to the aid of LWO for a sweet reunion. But as El Grande tries to come and pick up that piece of metal, Rey Mysterio dropkicks him into the ropes for a 619. Rey Mysterio now has El Grande in position for a splash, but not only a simple one, it wants to finish him off by a top rope frog splash. But as Rey Mysterio is taunting to the crowd, El Grande successfully puts the piece of metal under his mask and catches Rey Mysterio in the midair with the headbutt. And to prove that he is a true luchador, he delivers a beautiful Mexican destroyer and follows it up with a beautiful moonsault. This hands El Grande Americano his first WrestleMania victory. This is a very hot start for a new WWE superstar as El Grande stands tall. But as he's celebrating, the lights suddenly go out. Aleister Black is back in WWE. But as we move forward, we have the WWE Women's Championship match as the 2025 and the first ever two-time Women's Royal Rumble winner Charlotte Flair takes on the WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton for the biggest prize of the women's division on Friday Night SmackDown. The match starts technically as they try to take each other down with submissions and different grapples. This rivalry got personal and high intentions are making this match more important. But at some point, when Tiffany is trying to get the upper hand, Charlotte locks her in the headlock, and that leads to Tiffy tossing her off the ropes and boom, catching her with a big back elbow. And this is the start of Tiffy dominance. The WWE Women's Champion has the control of the match, but also on the other side as the match continues, Charlotte Flair also is trying to prove to everyone that she is deserved of this World Championship match, and she can still be the Charlotte Flair who won 14 World Championships. But at some point, Tiffany Stratton gets the upper hand as Charlotte Flair is in the ring and Tiffany is climbing the ropes. From up there, Tiffany dives with a swanton on Charlotte and goes for the cover. But no, it's a near fall as Charlotte survives. Also, we see different and beautiful maneuvers from Charlotte, but in the end, it's Tiffany Stratton who has the upper hand against the most decorated superstar in women's history. But this is not only about the title that it's on the line, it's about the personal rivalry that has begun between these two. And at some point, Tiffany wants to dive with her famous swanton, but Charlotte denies, and this is a nasty landing for Tiffy as Charlotte climbs the ropes and a classic twisting dive from Charlotte Flair to take down Tiffany Stratton. Charlotte Flair is standing tall and she sends Stratton back in the ring, and she's now trying to regain her momentum with her famous slams and famous kip-ups. We hear some people chant woo, but we hear many rally behind Tiffany. But Charlotte doesn't care as she tries to get the upper hand, but she is not successful because in the end, Tiffany is the one who's taking down Charlotte, and she follows it up with her beautiful, famous Alabama Slam. But it's not enough. Charlotte has still some gas left in the tank. So Tiffany tries high-risk maneuvers because that has, of course, high rewards. A superplex from up there high, and then followed by a corkscrew splash, but again for only a near fall. Charlotte stays alive. Tiffany climbs the ropes and wants another dive, but this is when Charlotte recovers and throws her down. Charlotte tries to gain back momentum, but Tiffany is fighting back as well, because the former Money in the Bank winner successfully takes Charlotte down, and as she climbs to the top rope, Charlotte goes to the ringside, but Tiffany only changed the direction to dive, as she dives up with a swanton, and she finally connects this beautiful maneuver. Tiffany sends Charlotte back in the ring, and she returns to it itself, but only to be caught by a big-time spear from Charlotte Flair. But Tiffy's still alive. She kicks out of the spear, so Charlotte wants to continue beating her down as she goes on the second rope for a supernatural selection. Not again. Tiffany Stratton is still alive. So Charlotte decides to dive this time. She wants a moonsault, but Tiffany moves and nails her with the moonsault of her own. The prettiest moonsault ever is hit, and she falls for the cover. But no, unbelievably, Charlotte Flair kicks out. So Tiffany decides to go for different maneuvers as she locks in a Fujiwara armbar, trying to make Charlotte tap out, but Charlotte makes her way out of it. And now Tiffany's getting back to her feet, but a big boot by Charlotte, and she wants to follow it up with a figure eight. But Tiffany rolls her up instead, but only for a close 3 count. They both get back to their feet, and they start trading blows at one another. Chops by Charlotte, punches by Tiffany, where at some point Charlotte finally gets the upper hand with a massive big boot and wants to end this. Tiffany picks her up for the counter, a Samoan drop followed up by a spine buster and another PME. To crush the dream of becoming world champion again, Tiffany Stratton retains the WWE Women's Championship successfully at Tiffy-mania. But it's now time for the biggest triple threat match of the history of WrestleMania. As Seth Rollins says, this may determine the future of the industry, as the original tribal chief, who is now without a wise man, Roman Reigns, is going to a clash with Seth Rollins and the best in the world, CM Punk, who has Roman Reigns' wise man alongside himself. This is CM Punk's first ever main event at WrestleMania, but is he able to beat 2 former Shield members at the same time for his first win at the main event of WrestleMania? The match hasn't even started yet, but the crowd are on their feet and cannot wait for what's going to happen next. Every single moment of this match has importance, as they all strike against one another, but they all counter. At some point, Punk finally takes Roman down, and he's sending Seth Rollins out as well. But Seth is fighting back as he's dragging CM Punk out of the ring, but Punk successfully counters and slams him into the steel steps. He follows it up with a Russian leg sweep into the barricade, but Roman Reigns enters from behind and takes CM Punk down from behind with a clothesline, goes after Seth as well, and sends Punk back in the ring. A big boot by the tribal chief, followed by rapid punches as he's showing no mercy to CM Punk. But in this match, you gotta be smart as well, and Seth Rollins is deciding in smart ways, and that's the reason he's successful against both Punk and Roman Reigns. Punk is down, and Seth is getting the upper hand against Roman Reigns. Beautiful crossbody from the top rope, as Roman is trying to go out on the apron to recover. But we don't have time for you to recover in this match, as Seth takes him down and goes after Punk to the ringside for a dive. He re-enters the ring and dives on the opposite side to Roman Reigns. He comes back to the ring again, and another suicide dive, this time through the ropes to CM Punk, and one more to Roman Reigns. 4 back-to-back dives by Seth Rollins. He is fired up as hell, and the crowd rally behind him as well. He sends Roman Reigns back in the ring, and he climbs the ropes once again from the top, wants another crossbody, but this time Roman catches him and switches into the fireman's carry for a big left hand punch. But Seth dodges the attack too, and he and Roman are trading punches when CM Punk dives with a springboard clothesline to take both men out. And he goes after Seth Rollins again. The Anaconda Vice is locked in this time. Seth is locked in one of the most painful submissions in WWE today. But he somehow finds a way to escape from it. A couple of knees to the back of his neck. And boom, a massive enziguri right to the side of the head, but only to be hit by a Superman punch from Roman Reigns. And now, Roman is locking his submission on Seth. The front sleeper hold is locked in, and Rollins has nowhere to go. But after a few seconds, the Visionary delivers a couple of punches to the midsection of the Tribal Chief, and boom, a big face-first DDT which busts Roman Reigns open. But of course, it's not getting Seth Rollins the win. Punk returns, and he sends Seth into the corner, runs with a big knee, and now Seth Rollins is busted open, and Punk runs at Roman Reigns with a massive knee, followed by his famous Bulldog. CM Punk is dealing with Roman Reigns in the corner with rapid clotheslines, and he follows it up with a back suplex. But as he gets back into his feet, Seth Rollins arrives and delivers a leg drop using the ropes, and he climbs to the top turnbuckle. Seth Rollins has the chance as he dives with a 5-star frog splash onto CM Punk's spine. But Punk survives. Seth cannot believe it, but Punk is surviving of this match. But he is down, and Seth realizes that this may be the chance to end this match this soon. A curb stomp is hit, and now CM Punk is bleeding. But that doesn't matter, because Roman Reigns interrupts with a spear. But Seth Rollins is not giving up. He kicks out, but Roman Reigns does not want to waste any more time. Seth Rollins rolls out of the ring, and Roman sends Punk into the ropes for another spear, this time to CM Punk. He goes for a cover. But just like Seth, CM Punk kicks out as well. And this is the moment Roman Reigns makes eye contact with Paul Heyman at ringside. Roman Reigns hasn't gotten the answer he needed from Paul Heyman, or it's better to say, the answer he wanted. And that's why he goes to the ringside to maybe have another conversation with Paul Heyman. But as he's tried to disrespect him one more time, CM Punk interrupts and takes Roman Reigns down. Roman is down, and he sends Seth back in the ring. He climbs the ropes, maybe for an elbow drop, but Seth interrupts and wants a superplex. But Roman Reigns returns and powerbombs Seth Rollins, which automatically superplexes CM Punk. Seth rolls out, and Roman Reigns has the chance to spear CM Punk once again. The people are chanting OTC, and Roman is lining Punk up for another spear. He runs, but Punk catches him in the fireman's carry for a GTS in the main event of WrestleMania. But no, is not enough. Roman Reigns gets the right shoulder up before the third count, but Punk wants another GTS. But if Seth Rollins is going to let him hit that. But when Seth sees Punk down and Roman standing, they confront one another, and they're thinking of the same thing. And that is a very interesting thing, because Roman lifts CM Punk up for a shield bomb. But that alliance is not going to last any longer than this. Immediately, they punch each other, they kick each other, they start to unload on each other. Where at some point, Seth gets the upper hand and is calling for Roman. He delivers the rolling elbow, but Roman fires back at him, and boom, a big right hand. And now Roman is looking for a spear. He runs, but a classic counter into a pedigree. Seth Rollins countered the spear directly into a pedigree and follows it up with the big curb stomp. Roman Reigns has still some gas left in the tank. He kicks out. We don't know how, but he does. This is when Punk returns to the ring, and he takes down Seth with a pedigree of his own, and the crowd is now rallying behind CM Punk. He goes for a knee strike in the corner, but this time Seth Rollins moves, and he picks CM Punk up for a massive back-breaking buckle bomb into the turnbuckles, followed by a second rope super stomp to CM Punk. Just like the steel cage match at Madison Square Garden, after the second rope stomp where Seth had Punk beaten, Roman Reigns is screwing things up. Seth is down in the ringside. Roman returns to the ring, and this is the moment we see Paul Heyman grabbing a steel chair from under the ring and passing it into the ring. Both Roman and Punk are looking at Paul Heyman and are looking at the chair, but who did Heyman pass the chair to? Did he do that for Roman Reigns or for CM Punk? That doesn't matter. They are both fighting to pick up that chair as Punk attempts first, but Roman gets the chance as well, but they both counter. CM Punk and Roman Reigns are beating the living hell out of one another, only to pick that steel chair up, the steel chair that maybe could hand them the victory. What was his purpose? As CM Punk and Roman Reigns are going back and forth, where at some point Seth Rollins picks up the chair and stabs it right in Roman's back, and just like the Shield fell apart, Roman gives up the battle. He rolls out, and now it's only Punk and Seth in the ring, where Seth is ambushing CM Punk with that steel chair, and he locks it in between the turnbuckles to send him head first into the steel chair. He picks it up once again, and one more chair shot, this time straight into his face. He throws the chair in the middle of the ring. Punk rolls out, and when Roman tries to return to the action, he gets stomped right onto the steel chair. And Seth freaking Rollins gains this massive victory at the main event of WrestleMania. And as he says, the future of the industry is now saved. But the savior is leaving the ring, and he looks at Paul Heyman for a few seconds before he leaves the grandest stage.